Okay, this is part two of the parabola lesson today. Now I want to show you, I want to put all this together and show you how you can use the GDC to figure out some of these answers. So we're going to use the GDC to answer the questions about the parabola. We're going to find the y-intercept. We're going to find the zeros or the x-intercept. We're going to find the turning point, and I'm going to show you how to adjust the window to help you get a better view of the parabola. So at this point, you should turn your calculator on and go to graph. So I'm at graph right now. What you're going to do, hit tab, and that's going to bring up the F1. So that's where we're going to put our first equation, which is y. Instead of, well, F1 of x is another way of writing y equals, so let's see, we're going to do x, come on, x squared plus 5x, the letter x, minus 24. And then we hit enter and we see our graph. Well, I want the whole graph. So, and I studied parabolas, so I know that there's a turning point down there. So let's go to menu, window, and you can either zoom out or you can make your own window settings. So I know I'm going to leave my x min and my x max at 10 and negative 10. But my y min, I'm going to go down to 20. Let's put that down to negative 20. And my y max, I'm okay with, 10. Let's see what happens when I hit OK. I got to go even lower. So let's change the window again. So let's go to menu, window. Let's change the window settings again. Now let's make my minimum. Let's make it 40 just to be safe, on the safe side. Okay, nice. So now I have a better view of my graph. A couple of things. So this is the graph I'm looking at. Whoops. Let's see what the menu tells us about. The idea is we want to analyze the graph. So we have a couple of things. We have the zero, we have the minimum, and the maximum. Okay, now the first thing I spoke about was the y-intercept, but that's actually kind of easy to figure out. We know that's the value when x equals 0, and right here you can see it's negative 24. Another thing you can do is look at the graph. So you can look at the table of values. So you go to menu, table, split screen table, and you move up and you see, you know what? Here we go. When x equals 0, the y-intercept is negative 24. So that's how you find the y-intercept. Once again, menu, table, and it'll add it. Now we can remove the table. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is how to find these zeros right here. So from the graph, it's kind of interesting. So to find the zeros, click on menu, analyze graph, 0. Once again, a 0 is where the graph, actually a 0 is setting the equation equal to 0, but it's also where the graph crosses the x-axis, 0. Now, I'm going to find the 0 all the way to the left. So it says lower bound, start the left, hit enter. Now move your mouse a little bit to the right so that surrounding the 0, hit enter again, and it tells you the 0 is negative 8. Now let's find the other 0. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Let's move it a little bit to the left of the second 0. Hit enter. Let's try it again. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Move it a little bit to the left. Hit enter. Now move it to the right. Enter. We have our second 0, 3. Excellent. Now I want to find my turning point. I know my turning point is a minimum, so I know it's going to be right here. Same idea. Menu, analyze graph. It's a minimum. So click on minimum. Move it a little bit to the left of the minimum. Now move it to the right. Nice. So we see two things here. First of all, the minimum happens at negative 2.5, and the actual minimum value is negative 30.3. Nice. Now let's look at the next problem. So the next equation is y equals negative 3x squared plus 12x plus 2. So let's go back to tab. Let's move the cursor up, go up, and let's hit Control Delete. That will clear it out, and hit Enter. It takes the parabola away. The next thing I want to do is let's put the new equation in. So I'll go back to tab. We have our f1 of x, and we're going to do negative, remember, not subtraction, but negative 3x squared plus 12x plus 2. Hit enter. You know what? So I need to change my window again. Now, if you hit menu, window, we could zoom out, but let's do our own window settings. So I know I'm fine with negative 10 to 10. That's fine on my x-axis. My y, I don't need negative 40. I don't need that so low. So I'm going to start at, how about negative 10? But my y max, let me start with 50. See what happens if I max at 50. Nice. So I didn't need to go so high. If you want to, you can change it or you can leave it like that. It's up to you. How about we change the menu? How about we change the window? How about we lower that? Go to window settings. Let's change that to 20. It doesn't need to be so high. Nice. Okay, let's get to work. Well, we can see by the equation the y-intercept is 2. We can see it's 2 here. Let's look at a table of values. Menu, table, split screen table. Go to when x equals 0, the y-intercept is 2. Nice. Okay, let's get rid of that table. Menu, table, remove table. Okay, well, the next thing I want to find is my zeros. So let's see. Menu, analyze graph, 0, enter. Now let's find the first 0 to the left, enter. Now let's move it to the right, enter. Nice, we have the first 0 at negative 0.16. Now let's find let's move this over. Next, let's find the next 0. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Move it to the left, enter. Move it a little bit to the right. Excellent. 4.16.0. 4.16 is the next 0. Okay, now let's find the maximum here. So, menu, analyze graph. This time it's a maximum. Same thing. Move it to the left, move it to the right. Nice. The maximum occurs at 2, and the maximum height is 14. If this were like a word problem, we might say at 2 seconds, it reaches a height of 14. Now, let's imagine that this is a real word problem for a second, and I'm not interested in, I'm not interested in negative time. Imagine that the x-axis actually represents time. So I could adjust the window setting. Let's change the window. Let's go to, menu, window settings. My x-min, I'm going to change it to 0 because time is not negative and my max is 10. Now let's see what our graph looks like. Interesting. It looks more like a real life scenario. Imagine you're standing and you're throwing something starting at 2 meters, you're throwing it up, and then after 2 seconds, it reaches a height of 14 meters, and then at 4.16 seconds, it finally reaches the ground. Okay, let's look at the last graph. Let's go back. Let's see. Tab. Hold on a second. Let's see. Tab. Okay. Let's go up. Let's do Control Delete to clear that out. Let's hit enter. Now let's put our new equation in. Actually, before I do that, let's get the window back to normal. So window zoom, window settings. Let's I'm sorry, I apologize. Menu, window zoom. Go back to zoom standard. Zoom standard will take you back to 1010. Perfect. So let's put the next equation in. Tab 200 x squared plus 15 x. What did I write here? Minus 124. Wow. Okay. Big numbers. Let's see. Enter. So let's see what's going on here. Let's fool around with this. Let's see. Menu, window. Let's see. Let's click zoom fit. Let's see what that means. Nice. So zoom fit will fit the parabola in your entire graph. So I guess the minimum, they're telling us the minimum is like negative 2139. Well, let's test that once again. We don't have to worry about that. We have the technology here. So we know that the y-intercept is negative 124. Let's figure out what the zeros are. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Let's start from the right here, and let's move over. Nice, we have a 0. Where is that? Up. Negative 826. And then let's try to find the other 0. Menu, analyze graph, 0. Let's say we're to the left, and then move to the right. Another 0 is, what is it, 0.8. So let me move this up. Let me move one of these out of the way. So you can, with the hand thing, you can move it over to the left and right. So the 0 on the left is negative 0.826. The 0 on the right is 0.751. Now let's find the minimum value. Menu, analyze graph, minimum. We kind of know it's in here somewhere. So let's start here, move it to the, let's see. So, it turns out that at negative 0.03, negative 124 actually is our minimum. So we lucked out. Last thing, I want to show you another way to find the zeros. Let's go back to the algebra sheet. So there should be, if you don't have that, you can do Control, Doc, and you can add the calculator page. Nice. Now, we use the zeros to find the solution of the quadratic equals 0, but we can also find the zeros by, let's say, going Menu, Algebra, Polynomial Tools. Find the roots of a polynomial. So the degree is 2 because it's x squared. The roots are real. Hit enter. And now put the 3 coefficients. So the first equation was y equals x squared plus 5x minus 24. That means the first coefficient, the a2, they call it 1. The number in front of the x was 5. And the number in front of the constant was negative 24. Hit OK. Hit enter. Nice. Negative 8 and 3. You should remember that from the zeros. Let's try this again. Menu, Algebra, Polynomial Tools. Find the roots of a polynomial. Degree is 2. Once again, okay. The next equation, it was negative 3 x squared plus 12x. Remember, plus 2. Hit OK. Hit enter. Nice. Remember, we got negative 0.16, and we got 4.16. So these are different ways that you can find the y-intercept. You can find the zeros, and you can find the turning point. Nice. Excellent. Let's shut this off. Oh, there we go. Let's stop.